deleting the weakest country until there's only one left. Of course, this won't happen immediately. These places do have time, but if I did have to start right now, it would be Luxembourg with only 2 pixels in their territory. I'll be honest, Luxembourg will probably be dead by the time I delete my first nation. But then again, I don't know. A lot of these places are actually probably going to start off by just deleting themselves or just deleting others in general. Obviously, the Caribbean has a lot of small nations. What I think is interesting is sea territory doesn't count. You actually have to get land pixels. Some of the beginning nations, when we delete them, won't be that big of a deal because, you know, they don't have a lot of territory. But towards the mid and end game, it's going to get crazy because larger places are going to lose more and more land, and that means the surrounding neighbors can pick up more stuff. Jeez, and already Latvia's conquered Estonia. Also, Russia trying to reunite the Soviet Union. Lebanon was conquered by Syria, and Montenegro was conquered by Bosnia right here. So there goes the Balkans. Maybe I'm going to be wrong because Luxembourg just helped to take down Belgium. That is exactly what they needed. They're probably no longer at the bottom of the list. Okay, there goes Kazakhstan. Uzbekistan got a lot out of that. South Korea was just conquered by the north, but Japan tried to save the southern part of South Korea, at least Busan. Another interesting part about the World War Simulator is it's gonna like really mess with alliances. Like maybe you have a homie right now, but not when I delete them. Sweden was just conquered by Finland. Also Armenia and Azerbaijan. That rivalry is still going even in the virtual game. Oh man, there goes Luxembourg. Luxembourg did take out. So we have a united lowlands, well almost united because the UK got a little bit of Belgium. Because I think that's Belgium. It's hard to tell with just square territories. Here goes the Philippines after Indonesia and Malaysia. Wow, they're fighting a huge coalition. There can be only one Z nation, and right now it's Zimbabwe. Nepal was also conquered by the Congo, but the Democratic Republic of the Congo got some out of that. Really need to make sure that I don't go past the date of when I'm supposed to delete. Okay, there we go. It's 2030. And the first place we're deleting is Cyprus with only 2. I'm sorry, Cyprus. They really didn't even have a chance here. They can only really fight Turkey, I think. Actions die. Yeah, that's so aggressive. Sorry about that. All right, well, pretty much Syria got a little bit. They got actually 2 more pixels. It wasn't even Turkey that benefited. Guatemala was just conquered by El Salvador here in Central America. Also, Morocco trying to restart a Reconquista, Reconquista, first against Portugal. Brazil's going after Venezuela. Portugal did get conquered. Spain got the northern part of Portugal, though. Let's say about maybe 25% of the world is in some sort of an alliance. This war for Venezuela is really backfiring on Brazil. Now, El Salvador was just conquered by Honduras. Who's going to come out on top in Central America? I feel like usually it's like Colombia or something that just eats them all up. We really do need to pay attention to some of the more smaller places because there is actually a race going on to not be at the bottom. So specifically for the Balkans and definitely the islands, Bhutan needs to do something here because this is only like 7 pixels. Remember, you don't even need to win the war. You just need to get a lot. Actually, I don't even know if you need to end the war. Venezuela has pixels, so that would stop them. You just need to start a war before I like delete you 1 year before and just get some territory. I have a bad feeling for Puerto Rico because they don't have much here. Not too much craziness out of Europe so far. I mean, some people have died, but it's not too bad. I love how when Sweden's gone, the Nordics are now just peaceful. Oh, yeah, everything's good now. All 3 of them took a bite, and now they're all happy. Costa Rica was conquered by Nicaragua. Oh, and there's an alliance between these two. We also have a little battle between the South African nations. Here we go. January of 2040. Every 10 years, we're deleting a new nation. Who's it going to be this time? Of course, it's Jamaica. We saw them last time. They had 10 years to do something. Unfortunately, they did nothing. Again, this feels so aggressive. Die. Like, I feel bad. Like, why can't I just say destroy? And it's mainly Cuba, pretty much just Cuba that got that, which saves Cuba. That gets them a little bit more time. Yeah, something's going to need to be done about the Caribbean. There's just so many tiny nations here. Again, as we progress more and more decades into the future, these deletions that I'm going to do is going to be bigger and bigger. Ukraine was, in fact, conquered by Russia, so Russia really is looking more and more like the Soviet Union. Kind of a World War II taking place in, Poland, the Netherlands, and France all going after Germany. Meanwhile, the Swiss are gone. Honduras was just conquered by Mexico, so Mexico's going to come down here and clean up Central America. And there goes Germany. Poland got a lot out of that. They finally got their revenge. Saudi Arabia was just conquered by Kuwait. Look at these interesting borders out of this peninsula. We don't see this too often, so that actually is going to save a lot of places, or maybe, well, not so much Qatar. Qatar is very small, but Kuwait just got a way larger, which is going to save them for a little bit. That's actually huge for an area of the world with a lot of small nations. Of course, North Macedonia was conquered by Greece. Greece has been waiting to do that for a while now, I think. Bosnia was conquered by Serbia. Oof, we just lost a Central American nation. Now Serbia going after Hungary. Looks like about more than 50% of the world is in some sort of alliance for now, until I delete more people. Here we go. The year's 2050. Oh, here goes East Timor. Only 4 pixels. Qatar might be next. I don't really know like what justifies them at the very bottom because it's clearly not alphabetical. I thought it was alphabetical. I think it's money. Yeah, it's money in combination with territory. Well, that sucks. There they go. There goes Russia. Now they're fighting. Man, I think the former Soviet states sees what Russia's doing. Ooh, Finland now got up in it. They're trying to stop because they know that Russia's eventually going to invade them. I don't know if this is going to go well. Belarus might die. Uganda was just conquered by Rwanda, and Puerto Rico was conquered by the Dominican Republic. That's going to save the Dominican Republic for a little bit. They got like 2 or 3 extra pixels from that. That's big for the Caribbean. Oh, Cuba got a part of the Yucatan Peninsula. So again, that's going to buy them some time. Uzbekistan, who's become like a de facto Kazakhstan. Also, Yemen fighting off. Oh, wow. Yemen's fighting so many people. It's like a battle to become the next Saudi Arabia. Cuba was just conquered by the United States. I liked Cuba's efforts, though, trying to get themselves to expand more and more. That's going to save the Bahamas. Ireland was just conquered by France. I didn't even see that the UK got destroyed. Wow, look at this super epic Napoleonic France. That's basically what just came back. Okay, 2060. It is Qatar. They didn't have much of a choice. I don't think they really even had enough time to. I mean, there was a war. They could have tried something. I would just go down. Like, even if I knew I was going to lose the war, I'd at least give it a shot. Go up against the most powerful nation on earth. You might get lucky. Bulgaria was now just conquered by Serbia. Wow, Serbia's getting really large here in the Balkans. Here goes Canada after the US, and they were successful. Canada's always does good in this game. Look at the Bahamas go now. They've got at least like 20 pixels now, I think. Definitely the top nations in the world is Canada, Russia, and China. Meanwhile, North Korea going after Japan. Slovenia was just conquered by Romania. They literally wrapped around Serbia to get that. Russia then actually conquered. Ooh, finally a big war between Russia and China. They actually went and wrapped around. They actually have help from Vietnam too down here. I don't know if it's necessarily help. Ooh, oh boy, Russia's run out of money. This would be big if one of these empires collapse. Ooh, we got to delete Morocco. I didn't even realize that they must have lost a war. Meanwhile, Canada's #1, then it's Russia, China, and of course Australia. Then there's big old Brazil. Wow, Brazil's got some friends too. Russia's still going as they just conquered Belarus. They lost a lot of territory to China out here in the east though. Bahamas has taken over. I mean, they look like they've taken over all of the Caribbean, but they also have the Colombians coming down here. Okay, it's the year 2080. Now time for Brunei. They didn't really have a chance because they allied. So they're losing. The alliance now itself is losing a member. It's really unfortunate for some of these nations that are in an alliance, so they can't attack any of their friends. They're kind of screwed, but sometimes I've seen those nations end up winning this because they just hide behind their alliances, and then, you know, when one of their members gets too weak, then they backstab them. Whole lot of people supporting. There's a lot of money being thrown around. There goes Finland. Again, Russia expanding into Europe slowly. Mongolia is trying their best to fight off China. Look at Romania now, who's conquered most of the Balkans. Serbia's gone. Look at all those cities they have now under their empire. Bam, and there goes Czechia. Mongolia was in fact conquered by China. China and Japan working together. Japan didn't really have a choice. It's now time for Gambia at 7 pixels. And they were in an alliance, so they didn't have a choice. They got to get out of these alliances. Okay, you really got to start making some moves now. Things are moving really fast. People got to do something. Syria just moved in and took out Egypt, but again, all the surrounding nations benefit from stuff like that. That's what makes this scenario interesting. India and Pakistan, of course, getting into it. Nepal's in trouble here. Actually, these nations are in a lot of trouble because they're smashed between India and... I'm surprised they made it this long. India and China, Bhutan and Nepal. Malaysia going after the Philippines. I didn't even realize the Philippines took out Indonesia, but they actually might get eaten now. Definitely looking like the case. Man, they had 5,000 gold. They just their military just fell apart. Here we go, 2100. It's time for a new century. All the way at the bottom, it is Bhutan. Of course it is. It's interesting because in the beginning, you know, every month kind of counts. Like, even if you just have 1 month to grab 1 pixel, that is going to be a difference maker, at least in the very beginning, because there are so many nations tied for the bottom. That's going to become less and less of a bigger deal as we continue to move on. Peru was just conquered by Venezuela. Venezuela leading the charge against Brazil. They are so close. There it is. Bam. They were really close. I thought they were going to have to stop. Venezuela now just quickly became I would say a great power for sure, because it's the corner nations that tend to do good. They do need to unite though. They probably need to get rid of some of these alliances. Oh, there already is a coalition against Venezuela. You only have Bahamas as your friend, and I'm probably going to delete them at some point, unless someone else deletes them. Moldova was just conquered by Romania. Romania is still going strong, but they got to watch Russia. Another deletion. It is Taiwan. What were they really going to do? Oh, especially allied to China. That's a weird alliance. We're down to 57 nations left. A lot of these countries are doing my job for me by eliminating some of the smallest places. Look at Iran go. Is trying to kind of form a Persian empire again. France still has their Napoleonic France, and Spain has united the Iberian Peninsula. Kicked out Morocco. They're actually friends with Algeria, but Algeria is now going down. Yep, they just got deleted, so now Morocco's facing some big African powers. Trying to think who's going to be bottom now. Oh, it's Sri Lanka. I forgot about Sri Lanka. Of course, another island. The islands are going next. Azerbaijan, you have 10 years to get it going, and this is not too bad of a nation. I mean, they're okay. They have nations that they're not allied to, but 28 pixels is not like super tiny, at least what we saw earlier. Estonia just got conquered by Norway. Now Norway is trying to face off against Russia. Norway actually has a Nordic Union. Finally, it's Norway on top of the Union. Usually it's like Sweden or Denmark. Oh man, they are so close to Moscow. That's crazy. Bahamas just got conquered by Belize. Also, there's some people trying to kick out Canada. Now Norway going after Napoleonic France. I'm calling them Napoleonic France, even though I don't even really know what they are. Okay, there they go. Napoleon's dead. Napoleon 2.0. Romania going after the Turks. Still got a big old Uzbekistan. It is Azerbaijan. They didn't move at all in terms of their pixels. We got a lot of big empires going. Now we have China and Russia going at it. Pretty much everyone's in an alliance right now except for Iran, because I think I deleted their only friend. Yeah, so that's the only one. That's where things get more interesting. I'm not deleting massive nations, but I am like kind of ruining coalitions and things like that. We have Sierra Leone, 37 pixels. Ooh, the big thing is they lost all their sea territory, which actually gives Venezuela more space to work with. Also, 2 new nations to declare war on, Senegal and Mauritania. So these deletions, again, are making a bigger and bigger deal. They didn't at first. I completely missed the fall of Venezuela. They were taken out by Panama. Wow, that is crazy. So I don't know who's going to come out on top in South America. It's still really divided. Obviously, Canada's far and away still really powerful here. They just have to get rid of Mexico. We have to delete Oman. Wait, really? Oh, Oman is tiny. I thought I was deleting whoever this is, Syria. Nepal is next on the chopping block. I don't really see what they can really do besides oof themselves. Greenland could help. Oh, Greenland's allied to Canada. I was going to say Greenland can help try to stop Canada, but yeah, they're being invaded by Iceland. New Zealand and Australia, Oceania, of course, is always allied. That's bad news for New Zealand, though. They sometimes win this game. Okay, Gabon is the next. Gabon, who's not super huge, but they had a friend. Nepal's still going. Now Nepal, wait, how did Nepal did get some land back or what? I don't really know how they did that. There goes Syria, and that's with the help of Turkey and Iran. Oh, all 3 are working together. That's a big alliance. Romania is still alive. They're trying to fight off multiple enemies in Europe. Oh, Nepal's gonna get saved because they just got united. They united with India. That's the smartest thing ever. They still survived. I'm not the one that's deleting them. That's cool. If Mexico falls here, Canada's easily going to be the powerfulest nation. Nicaragua is next. Okay, so that's going to make Panama a little bit strong. Actually, it's all Panama that's getting all this. Again, the borders just get reset with China and Russia. Ooh, Myanmar pushed way into India for a second. Oh, Australia just united with New Zealand. Okay, we're down to 25 nations. Of course, almost everyone is in alliances. Ooh, and there goes India. It was Myanmar that did that. Now these deletions are going to get bigger and bigger. Look at it. Japan was pretty nice. That's a lot of pixels that get deleted, and let's see who picks most of that up, because there's going to be a race for these islands, and looks like it's a kind of even divide, mainly Russia, I think. Now we have Bolivia pushing out Panama from Central America, where they're pushing them first out of South America, which Panama was kind of giving Canada a little bit of trouble. Kenya needs to watch out here. They're not looking super big with only 20 nations left, and again, it's going to depend on how much Panama loses too. Panama looks bigger than they actually are. This is not that many land pixels. Oh, and it is Kenya with 200 pixels, and it's all Zimbabwe. Zimbabwe is getting all of this. That's going to make Zimbabwe even more powerful. Of course, this game does give kind of a disadvantage for these centered nations, but I have seen centered nations win, and because we're doing this deleting thing, maybe that'll make a difference. Canada is now moving after Spain. Here goes Italy now trying to help in the efforts to kind of tame Russia. There's no one that wants this more. Wow, what's happening with Myanmar? Oh, they allied. They pieced out and allied because I think China was a little scared. Now, if Russia did lose their capital, but they're still alive. China could maybe get to that, but they're more weaker than ever before. Here we go. We have to delete a Turkey now. Wow. So a lot of people are going to benefit from that. Who gets that? Italy, it's Iran and Russia got all of the benefits. Australia trying to keep Malaysia at bay. Man, this is a scary alliance. And again, there are more and more scarier alliances. There is like a European power thing going on with Spain, Norway, and Italy. But if I have to delete Spain, who is next in 2 years, that's going to hurt this alliance a lot. Or maybe it won't. We'll see. It's actually Thailand. Spain just barely squeezed out, not getting deleted. Now, this is going to be interesting. This was a team before. So Malaysia and mainly Myanmar. This is only making Myanmar even more powerful. I think China just united with Uzbekistan. Yeah, they did. That keeps China in the game for a little bit longer. The fact that Russia survives and they put their capital in the center of their territory, that's huge for them. It's going to keep them safer for a little bit longer. There are 16 nations left. Spain is in a war, but they've got 2 years to get a little bit bigger with the war against Libya. I don't know if they're going to be able to do it. And no, they did not. So here goes the deletion of Spain, and we have to really pay attention to who gets most of this. I think it's going to be mostly Norway and Libya. Yeah, because Canada's moving so slowly, and these sea tiles don't really help much. Actually, at all. They don't help at all. They allow you to jump across the ocean, though. Here goes Libya. They're definitely taking Rome. They've taken Rome, and there goes Italy. So Libya and Russia are allied, and now everyone's trying to fight Norway. We have China getting really sandwiched. Oh, man. Here goes Russia. Is Russia going to finally get to Beijing? Oh, man. This is really bad for the world. Although Canada was really close to Mexico City anyways. This is bad for the world because this is going to allow Canada to jump away. This does give Panama some power, though. But now Canada really doesn't face much of a threat from anybody else. Maybe Bolivia? Maybe? I think Iran or Panama is going to get deleted next unless they get united or deleted by another nation. It's 2040, and it is Panama. Malaysia's three away. Here we go. So this is pretty much going to bring a big war against Bolivia and Canada. Canada's obviously still a lot larger than Bolivia, but you know, I mean, maybe if Bolivia gets an ally here in Europe, Norway is really the only thing that's keeping Europe alive. Norway is fighting Russia and Libya at the same time. They also need to worry about Greenland. Greenland might get deleted here, but they do have the world's biggest island, which saves them. It's now time to delete Iran. So it's going to be Zimbabwe, China, and Russia that mostly get that. Libya did not get much. I have some fears for Libya. They're really sandwiched here. They're not getting enough territory. And there goes Malaysia. They put up a great effort for having like so much like islands. They did a good job. But who gets this? Australia, and it's a lot of Myanmar. A lot from Myanmar. They look like they're, I don't know who's grabbing territory faster. I don't know what dictates that. Bolivia was getting pushed by Canada, but they got some of it back. Greenland was not able to do it. This is going to make Norway and Canada even stronger. Canada's getting most of this while Canada's really running away with this. I cannot believe Russia and China are still around. That's crazy. I think I spoke a little bit too soon because I now have to delete China. So finally, I guess Russia won out on beating China. So Russia's the only one that's pretty much going to be able to compete with Canada. Well, maybe not. If Bolivia falls here, which they look like did they run out of money or something? What happened? Deleting Bolivia would be really bad for the world because that's just going to give all the, I mean, Canada's going to take this anyways. And there we go. We have to delete. So this is going to really throw the alliances upside down because if you saw here, it was Libya and Russia that were allied. That really hurts that alliance. I mean, maybe not that much because Bolivia lost a lot of power. Someone just got Myanmar and Zimbabwe united. So that saves, wow, that was a great choice because now Zimbabwe's jumped to 3rd place. That's an amazing decision there. There's only 6 nations left. Unfortunately for Zimbabwe, they're smashed. They do have, if I delete Australia for them, it's Norway that has to get deleted next, which maybe, I'm not sure if that's going to help Zimbabwe, possibly. This will help Zimbabwe when I have to delete Australia, but can they survive long enough? They're fighting Libya and Russia at the same time. All right, here goes Australia, goodbye. And Zimbabwe is going to pick up all of this, but can they stop the front line and also continue to get all of Australia? And is that even going to help them? They're running out of money, unfortunately, for Zimbabwe. They also, well, they're allied to the strongest nation, which is Canada. There was 4 places left. Ooh, and they pieced out, so that's perfect. Zimbabwe is now pretty solidly in 3rd place. They just need to survive long enough, 4 more years, and then I have to delete Libya. That's gonna help them a lot in this war. They're still around. They're gaining more money because of the peace deal. And here we go. We have to delete Libya next, so that's gonna hurt Russia. I almost said China. So now this is just a huge race. There's 3 nations: Zimbabwe, Russia, and Canada, and it's pretty much 2 on 1. Although Russia is in, they're in 3rd. Oh boy, they're now in 3rd because I deleted. That's huge. Russia has 4 years pretty much to get a little bit bigger. They've got to go to war. They're actually super close to passing up Zimbabwe. They just have to win pixels. Just get more pixels, dog. You got 1 year left. Look how close they are. You just need like 50 more. No, like 100 more. Unfortunately, it is just a little too late. And here we go. We're down to the final 2. Now, technically, Zimbabwe just passed up Canada. Can Zimbabwe keep this? Look at Canada just drop. Oh, they got so lucky. Here we go. All right. Canada has 5 years to catch Zimbabwe. There's going to be a war. At least, are they still allied? They're still allied. Oh boy, this is not good. You got to break that alliance, dog. You got to break that right now. Dude, 3 years left. I think Canada's probably stronger than Zimbabwe, but Canada's being too nice. They're apologizing. Zimbabwe's got a little bit more money too. Maybe that's another reason why they don't want to do it. It's too late. It's 2350, and I've got to delete the weakest. That's Canada. I did not expect Zimbabwe to win this. Because of the way we did this video, Zimbabwe probably would have never won otherwise, but I love that. That makes that even more exciting. Finally, we have the ultimate Z Nation winner here. That's crazy. And big thanks to the patrons.
Drew, I'm your dad, back with the milk. Look outside.
John, Denver, Luxembourg lover. I can't sleep without Drew's voice. Aaron, Amateur Archaeology, Carmel,
Norwal,
Frederick, Tiblin, Good Ol' Ryan, Inquisitor,
Jack
Train's annoying friend,
Lemon
Lions,
10,
Best
Robert
Ride,
E,
The Pie,
the Great
Sebi, if you hear this,
Ralphie,
I love you.
The
And why am I doing this?